Well, hello. Let's get this party started. All right. So, welcome to the after party for the prosperity shift. Success without self-abandonment was what we were talking about through all of our sessions. And we had three first sessions and then two more for the VIPs. And as we finished up over the weekend, I really felt like I didn't want this party to end. I love doing this. So I was like, there's got to be something more here. And yep, sure enough, it came through pretty quickly. And I'm pretty happy to bring this to you. I really wanted everyone to get this because I really feel like this is so relevant for all of us. And I know this is some of the work that I have done for myself to keep me moving forward, to keep the momentum going in my business, because it is really easy to drift, especially if you're not, connected to a group or a program. We get inspired. We join these programs, we get inspired, it keeps us going, and we get all these inspiring ideas, and then the program ends and we kind of slip back down. I know what that's like, which is why I love joining masterminds that are really long because it keeps me going in that container, keeps me going for a length of time. But as I've been doing my work on myself, on my consciousness, and the continual movement towards my dreams and what I want to create in this world, I have recognized different reasons why I stop moving forward, different reasons that I maybe self-sabotage a little bit or hold back. And just this is how this all came through because just on Saturday, I was writing in my journal and I felt myself pulling back because this whole masterclass was finishing. And I thought, you know what? I am going to make a promise to myself. And I wrote it down here. I am, let me find it here because I've written past it. Every time I feel myself pulling back, I am going to move forward with more momentum. I am going to inspire myself. I am going to pick myself up. This is my new experiment that every time I feel like I want to pull back or give up, I am going to go forward even more. I am not pushing. I am not putting pressure on myself. I am going to recognize what it is that is causing me to pull back and how do I pick that momentum back up again? Because when I am in these programs and delivering these programs, and when I am in programs myself in my masterminds, I feel so good. I feel so alive, energized. I have more ideas than I know what to do with. And I have to, bring myself in and go, okay, one step at a time. I already have ideas for my next masterminds, for my next programs. And, but it's like, okay, this is great. There's never, ever a shortage of ideas, but we can pull ourselves away from that very easily, consciously, unconsciously. I'm going to give you 10 reasons today that you're not moving forward. 10 ways that in fact, there's a little bit more as we go through this, but 10 different ways that we have stuff going on inside of us that is causing us to abandon ourselves, to abandon our dreams, to forget and just kind of give up on them. So, let's just get started. Um, Number one, you're waiting to feel ready. So there's a lot of people that are like, I just don't feel ready. I feel like this time right now, there's a lot going on in my life, and it's maybe just not the right timing. Well, when have you ever known life to stop for you? right? There's always a lot going on. And at the beginning of this year, I felt the same way because I found out, my husband's on a cancer healing journey, and I found that out and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe this isn't the right year to really go forward and expand. Maybe this is, the year that I need to make sure there's space in my life for him. And then I realized that's just a fear. It's a fear of change. It's a fear of the point of no return. It's a fear of being overwhelmed. And I started to look at it differently. I started to go, wait a minute, of all the times, this is the time for me to go forward and expand. This is the time for me to bring more prosperity into my life, into our lives, for him too. So if you're waiting to feel ready, this is a normal feeling. It's the edge of resistance. And I want to make sure you know that because, we all feel it. You want to launch something, you want to go forward, but you keep saying, well, I'll do it when things settle down. I'll do it when I feel more confident. It's like standing at the edge of water and waiting to jump in, waiting to step in, waiting for the water to feel warm and safe. And yet knowing that if you get in there and you just do it, it's going to feel good, but you're just standing at the edge. I often think of it as like waiting. If you're standing at the edge of a cliff and you're waiting for the cliff to appear further out so that you can take that next step. It's like, no, sometimes you need to make the move because readiness is like, it's often created by decision, not before it. When you decide, that's when you're ready. And you want to shift yourself, this identity shift. So I'm going to give you an identity shift for every one of these. The identity shift goes from I move when I feel ready to I create readiness by moving. I am someone who moves before total certainty. Have you ever decided before you felt ready for something? Have you ever like, there's always this little sense of like reservation for new things. Huh? I don't know. Should I get married? I don't know. That's a biggie. But taking that step forward before you feel completely ready is part of becoming the woman who moves before total certainty, who has got it. Trust in yourself. Trust is building in you. My daughter's first job interview, I knew she was ready. She didn't think she was ready. I knew it was time for her to start to make her own money. That's what she really wanted. But man, she was absolutely terrified. And I pulled up into the parking lot of this it was a tanning shop where they used to have, the tanning shops all over the place, and they were hiring for someone there. And she had an interview. It took me about 15 minutes to basically push her out of the car. Like, you got this, you can do this. I know you're ready. And once she did it, she was like, she nailed it. But she didn't think she was ready. That feeling of like, oh, I'm just not ready yet. It's like, just move, right? Do it. Do it before you're completely ready because we'll grow into it. Number two, you don't trust your decisions. So this is when you choose something and you immediately question it or you start to ask others. And what we want to do here is claim our own decision making. Because when we start to ask other people and question it, then we're outsourcing our power. It's like driving a car, but overcorrecting constantly on the steering wheel. Trust the curve of the road. Trust the angle. You don't have to overcorrect going around that bend. They actually make the roads so they have a bit of a tilt to them. So your car automatically goes around that curve, right? It's that trust. You make the decision and then trust the unfolding. So what you want to do instead of saying, what if this is wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? What if it is just, you know, not right? It's like you want to move into the identity of someone that says, I back myself and I adjust as I go. I am the woman who makes the decision. I'm not looking for the perfect decision. I'm just going to continue moving forward and I'll adjust as I go along. I trust myself to make aligned decisions. It's all about that self-trust. Olympians get coaches. The coach has never won a gold medal, but the Olympian still believes in themselves. They don't question the coach. They know that they're going to get the guidance and support they need. Notice whether you are asking for wisdom from people around you or outsourcing your self-trust. And we'll come back to that part about talking to other people too, I think in one of the other ones. There's no wrong decision. And I actually was just reading about this. I think it's in the book 10x is easier than 2x, but it was about a young man talking to a general, and the general had to make decisions quickly, and he had to make a decision. This general had to make a decision that hadn't been made for 20 years because people were debating it. Both sides were debating it and debating it. And he came in, like previous generals hadn't made the decision, and he came in and he made the decision. And the young guy working with him said, like, how did you decide that? Isn't that kind of scary to make that decision? And he said, look, it's a decision that had to get made. We've been sitting on this for 20 years, so I just made the decision. If it's right or it's wrong, it doesn't matter. We'll adjust as we move forward. We just make the decision and keep moving. And I really loved that story. It was actually a true story. Number three, you're overthinking everything. We overthink and overthink. There's a need here for safety. Or oftentimes it's just avoidance disguised as processing, like, well, I need to think about this for a little while. It's really self-protection instead of self-trust. So here's how you can shift it, because you're shifting from I need to figure it all out first. Here's coming back to what we just talked about is like clarity comes through movement. I trust myself to make decisions. I'll figure it out as I go. You're trying to solve a maze like from above it instead of actually walking through it. And so when we're overthinking something, just pause and think about, why do I need to think about this? Is it that you know, want it or don't want it? Do I want it, but I'm still thinking about it? What would make this hell yes for me? What would make it a no-brainer? Yes, I'm jumping in. And then maybe that can help unpack it for you. But clarity comes through movement. Trust yourself to make decisions. It's like one step at a time, and I have support along the way. We often feel like we're going to make this decision and then all of a sudden it's all going to crumble down and we're going to be to blame. But this is the work we do with inner coherence, is being able to stand in our power, make our decisions from alignment, and not worry about what other people think. Because this brings us to number 4. It's that fear of making the wrong move, the fear of disappointment or messing things up. And oftentimes it's the fear of what other people are going to say to us, the fear of disappointing them. You stay still because you don't want to mess it up. It's like you're keeping a blank canvas because you're afraid that you'll mess up the painting. or you'll ruin the painting, afraid to move forward. The what you're thinking is like, I have to get it right. This is what I have to do. I have to get it right. Instead of being in the frame of I'm willing to create and refine as I go. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to make all the perfect right decisions. We adjust as we go. We refine as we go. We just start moving. And I do know a lot of people, even from my past, some clients that are like stuck, afraid to go forward. They're just staying in the same place, or they're taking more courses and more courses. It's like you don't need any more programs and courses. What you need is like coaching to help you move forward. Let's go now. You've got all the information. Let's go. And so that's where, coaching is really helpful for people, is that we can see the future for them. We can see the light in them and all they have to give. And we need to hold that vision with them and keep reminding them, like, you got this. And I do remember actually, I was watching the new show, The Madison, and Michelle Pfeiffer plays the wife, and she's been married since she was like, I don't know, teenager, right? And her husband dies. And she's got this counselor or therapist with her, helping her. And she keeps questioning him, oh, do you think I should do this? And his answer is always, you're a grown woman. What do you want to do? Just do it. And I love that, because it's just all this empowerment. We're so used to answering to other people and so used to checking with other people before we move forward. It's like, no, we need to come into our power, check in our heart, get into alignment and make our decision and move forward from there. And if anyone questions it, it becomes well, that's your perspective, but I made a decision from my perspective, and this is fine, and we'll adjust as we go. There's also another fear that's coming up for number 5. It's you don't feel safe to expand. And what that is, the fear of loss. So things start going well, but then you pull back and start to procrastinate. It's often what we hear about self-sabotage, right? It's like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. And what we want to move here from is expansion that feels overwhelming into my body can hold more. And this is where inner coherence work is so powerful, because in my programs, we do this inner coherence work. We bring that safety into the body, knowing that we can hold more. I can hold more. I can expand and hold more, and I'm safe while I do this. And it's not overwhelming. And I breathe and I come back to expansion again. Often the riskier thing is staying where you are and abandoning your truth. What would that cost you? What would that cost by the end of your life to not have lived, excuse me, not have lived the joy and the dreams that are coming through your heart? So we want to become the one, and I want to help everyone become the one who chooses brave truth over familiar discomfort. Because even when where we are at is not comfortable, it's familiar. We know we can hold that. We've been holding it. It's when we think about expansion, we think, oh, that's going to be so much more responsibility, more visibility, more, risk. And yet that's where the joy and the abundance all is. That's where the freedom is. And so it's actually when we stay where we are, that's the riskier part. We risk losing it all by staying here. The next one is you are overriding your intuition. So this looks like you feel this clear yes or no, but you talk yourself out of it. And again, this comes from being out of alignment, out of your coherence. You're outsourcing your power. You're looking at everything around you and making that more powerful than the decision and the desires within you. It's a fear of letting go of things, letting go of money, perhaps, money or time, and what people will think. So that makes us say, yes, I want this, but we don't move forward. So let's just kind of pause here and talk about the fear of letting go of money. Money for many of us is safety, and that becomes an outsourcing of power. We are finding our safety through having abundance of money. We worry about making the wrong decision and wasting the money. Well, am I going to get a return on my investment? How's this going to look? Am I going to actually learn from this and grow from this? So it's the letting go of the money. And yet, if you could see your money as a tool for your soul growth, for your consciousness growth, instead of a lifeline, it gets a lot easier. The money is just a tool, a renewable resource tool that you can use to help your soul grow through this lifetime, to help you continue to move and elevate in your consciousness so that when you get to the end of your life, you're like, yes, I know I did everything I could for my soul growth, to bring my light through, to shine it, to expand, to serve in the world. I'm not worried about the money when I'm dying. Like, who cares? I can't take it with me. I would rather invest in me. There is no possibility of not getting a return on the investment if I am the investment. I make sure there's a return on the investment. It's up to me. And I trust myself to do that, whether it's a financial return or just a consciousness growth, a step on the way, maybe new connections. It is always a return on my investment when I invest in me. Time, afraid of giving up your time for whatever it is, like that your time is precious. I absolutely agree with that. And we should not be wasting our time. But most, like my programs, will save you time. Masterminds save you time because masterminds expand your mind. Like you, a mastermind is when, two or more people come together and it's like an expansion of the brain, expansion of the minds, because it's not just like doubling with two people, but it actually exponentially expands everyone's mind. That's what masterminds do. And so to be in a room with other people that are totally, on the same growth path as you, wanting to continue to grow in their consciousness growth and their beliefs and their empowerment and in themselves, that is going to quantum leap you forward and save you time in the end. So you can go down the road on your own, but it will take you a lot more time. So if you begin to look at things from these different perspectives, you're like, okay, well, is this a yes or no? What's holding me back? Why am I talking myself out of it? Is it the money? Is it the time? Or is it one of the other things where I just don't trust myself? Um, the other thing I wanted to say was if people around you are the reason you're not going, okay? Take a drink of water there. So you're worried about what they will think, how they will respond. And I think we need to be really careful there because these people around us are not always the ones that are on their own journey of awakening. They're usually the people around us that are still living a life they're not happy with. They're going to a job day to day. They're not already doing what we desire to do. If they are, then that's wise counsel. But if they're not, why are we taking advice from them? Seek out the advice from somebody that's already done what you desire to do or is on that path to it. That's why you always seek out a coach or a mentor that is just a little bit ahead of you. If they're too far ahead of you, you don't really believe you can do it too. But a little bit ahead of you, they can, reach back, pull you up and go, if I can do it, you can do it, right? So this is where you want to be seeking out your counsel from people that have invested in themselves, if or done the program or the journey or traveled the world, if that's what you want to do. You want to talk to somebody. If you want to go to Timbuktu and you ask me if you should do it, well, I'm going to say yes. But if you ask somebody that's never traveled before, then they're probably going to say, well, I don't know, that's pretty far. And like, what's it take? Like, how many flights do you need to get there? That's scary. Do you know what could happen on like there's so many things that could go wrong. But if you ask somebody that's been there, then it's a little different. They go, yeah, yeah, you should do it. Okay, here's some advice. Just, here's some experiences I've had and that's the counsel that you want. Love my husband to death, but I don't ask him if I should join this or that program because he's in a whole other world than I am as far as that's concerned. So you want to move from I need outside validation into I trust what I hear within me. I trust my voice. Okay, number 7. We're almost there. 7, you start, but you don't follow through. Okay, so I hear this from people. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust myself. I've joined programs before and I just don't follow through. It's that fear of self-betrayal or evidence from the past that that's happened before. You get excited, you buy in, you get something, you begin something, and then you lose the momentum. It's like planting seeds in the garden, but not watering them enough to get them to grow. And what you want to be doing is to become a new kind of person, not just learning a method, but the person who follows through. I am someone who follows through for myself. And there's a couple different things here because one of it is knowing that you can become that person, that you're making a decision of who you are becoming, the who you desire to become, not the person that you've been in the past. We often make those decisions from where we are now, and we have a lot of doubts in ourselves. But if we can make a decision based on who you desire to become, then that's when transformation happens, especially when you have support. So staying in the energy through groups, through circles, through programs, through connecting with the right people, this is where you get the support to keep going. When you are having a day, you can easily just text into your group, oh my gosh, guys, I'm feeling all this doubt coming up. I really feel like this isn't for me. I've jumped in too far, too deep. And you've got your circle of support that are going to come in and say, hey, I hear you. I've been there. This is what I did to help. Not just you've got this cheering you on, rah, rah, but actual support that'll say, here's a way to walk through this. Here's a new way to look at this. Here's a new perspective. That's what you want to bring in and set yourself up for. So you want to move from the identity of I move when I feel inspired to I follow through because I trust myself. You are becoming the person who follows through, not just getting information and being inspired, but actually being the woman who's walking the path. And you want to do that for you. And the more you do it, the more you trust yourself to do it. And the more trust builds within you. All right. Number 8, you're attached to certainty. You want guarantees before you act. This is a fear of disappointment. The fear that you will be disappointed. And here I want to ask you, are you willing to become the person who creates the result? Are you willing to transform into that person? Because you absolutely can. Absolutely. If I can do it, you can do it. There's like so many people. We are in such a miracle time. There is so much coming this year that is going to make it so much easier for women in business, especially online, with all of this new technology. Like AI is going to create more millionaires popping off everywhere. And we are at a pivotal moment where we can jump in and be the ones that are expanding and growing. We are the new businesses up and coming. So instead of needing to see the whole staircase, all we need to see is the next step. We cannot give any guarantees. There are no guarantees in life. The dreams in your heart are not guarantees from the universe. Your job is to keep becoming the person who can hold those dreams. Whether you get there is up to you. So what you need to do instead of, I need to know this is going to work, I just trust the next step. I'm available for transformation. Embodiment matters, not just surface level learning. You're becoming, and the results come from who you become as much as what you do. You have to want to transform. You have to have the desire and the initiative to go there. There's another one here that's a really big one. You're afraid of being seen. You're holding back from sharing, leading, or showing up fully. You're dimming your light so you don't attract attention. As you grow and expand and transform in your business, you will attract attention, but you are becoming the woman who can hold that, who can hold more, so that when that happens, you're okay with it because you're standing in your strong, empowered center. You have trusted the guidance that you've received and the decisions that you've made. And there is no space for other people to poke at you or trigger you. You've done the work. You don't, nothing's going to trigger you. You're going to be fine. Even those, people that come online and tear you down in the comments, it's like, well, sending you love because you got a lot of work ahead of you to the person that's making those rude comments. And that's I always see it as a sign that I'm growing. And I did have some really, like, some terrible comments come up this year. And at first I was a little alarmed, and then I was like, hey, this means I'm growing. More and more people are seeing my stuff. And I just, block that person if it's really bad, right? If it's a legitimate complaint, then or a discussion, then I'll interact, engage. But yeah, afraid of being seen by who, right? Right now you're maybe feeling like it's safer to stay small, But what you're going to do is become someone who can hold the container. I have gifts to give to the world, and it's safe for me to be seen. I'm okay with that. It's safe. And this is the inner coherence work again. The nervous system calibration is so important. As we do this and as we grow and as our business expands, we expand to hold more. Every step of the way, it can be very uncomfortable, as well as all of the beauty and what you're receiving and all the prosperity that comes into your life. There's also still scary steps. But for me, it's like, oh, I just can't stay small. I can't stay here. When I get to the end of my life, I keep saying that when I get to the end of my life, if I haven't gone for it fully and completely as much as I could, then I'm going to have regrets. And I don't want that. And I know, after a lifetime of watching women who have lived their life out of soul coherence, even if they found prosperity and success, but they're not aligned with their soul, there's pain. And I know that we can redirect. I know that we can find the joy with the prosperity and bring that through for the world. And that's part of our role right now, is to bring through this new way of living, to be soul coherent, to be in our alignment and bring through the gifts and the light and be prosperous doing it, to show others that this is the way we do it. This is the way that brings balance in the world, that brings more joy, that brings more peace. It's not in lone wolf, I'm going to do what's good for me, but it's in this beautiful, expanded, connected way of growing and thriving. The very last point I want to make is number 10. You've normalized self-abandonment. So I know that these sessions that we went through where the VIP people have access to all the recordings. If you desire record the recordings, you can absolutely get access. Just reach out to me and I will let you know how to do that. But I hope that you're able to re-listen and keep going back over your notes if you took notes from the other sessions on self-abandonment and all the different ways that we do that. Self-abandonment is like when you say yes, when you mean to say no. And delaying what matters to you, leaving yourself behind while trying to move forward. And the comment that I hear so many times from women that just makes me cringe and I just want to hug them and go, no, is, well, that's just who I am. This is just the way it is. It's like, no, you no longer have to leave yourself behind in order to succeed. Be willing and available for transformation. And this is, as I said, part of what we do in Soulfully Aligned Women. It's about becoming, changing, shifting, growing, expanding. But only you can make that decision that you're going to come along. I certainly am not going to coax you to come along to join programs. I'm not going to drag you. I'm not going to be, the one to keep coming back and going, come on, come on. No, I truly believe in personal responsibility. It's like, are you coming? All right, let's do this together. If you're not ready yet, okay, I'm here when you are. It's okay. Maybe it's not the right time for you right now. Maybe it is. So I invite you to take a breath here, because one or two of these have likely landed clearly for you. And this is the truth. You don't need more information. You need to become the woman who no longer participates in these patterns. And it's a journey a constant becoming, coming back, coming back to your center. And this is where everything begins to shift, because you don't break these patterns by trying harder. You break them by learning to hear your intuition clearly, building trust within yourself, and creating safety in your body so that you can actually follow through. I notice every little nuance energetically throughout my days. I notice when I think of something and I feel a little twinge of like, what's going on there? And sometimes it's just a chore that needs to get done and cleared out of the way. And sometimes it's a reframing of, hey, wait a minute, I'm safe. It's okay. It's okay. I'm safe. Like coming back to that inner coherence. That's the work. And this is exactly what we step into with Mystic Prosperity. So if you want to hear yourself more clearly, if you want to trust what you know, if you need that circle container, if you feel that like, yeah, I want to come back into this. I want to feel that intuition within me. I want to hear that voice. I want to regulate my nervous system and actually follow through in my life. That's what we do. And we do it through inner coherence practices, through intuitive development, embodied work, meaning painting. Yes, creative flow, and learning how to move from alignment instead of being in pressure. And this is where the woman you've been sensing becomes real in your life. And the more we continue to stay there and to keep walking that path and to keep aligning and creating from that soul coherence, that is when it gets really exciting. Prosperity starts to show up all around you. Things line up, synchronicities, flow, everything moves with more ease. And I want you to understand this is just the beginning. Mystic prosperity is the beginning. Because when you learn to trust yourself, everything opens up. Your leadership, your visibility, your prosperity, it all expands. And there's deeper spaces for us where you become the woman who can hold it all, who continues to hold it all, who continues to move forward, who has movements and expansion. This is the beginning. If you've felt this today at all, and you can feel the truth of it, then you already know that Mystic Prosperity is your next step. And we actually begin tomorrow. So if you desire to keep going on this path, just reach out. I'll put the link in here in the replay, and you can come and join us in this beautiful journey as we continue on this path. And I know exciting things are coming for those of us walking this path this year. Very, very exciting and prosperous things are coming. So I hope this has helped you move through some of those resistances, and that you can continue to, whatever it is in your life, whatever decision is happening, that you can use these 10 reasons that we don't move forward. If you can use that to help you move forward, move through whatever it is that you are managing in your life or growing in your life. And I just want to say thank you for being here. If you're still here, you are a unicorn. You truly are. If you have watched all of these sessions and you are here for the sixth one, you truly are 1% of the population. And I am excited to be here with you and to continue this journey with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will talk with you guys later. Have a beautiful day.